This is KCR, the sound of state.
And we are back. Hey everyone, you're listening to KCR College Radio, the award-winning sound of state. You can catch us on air worldwide and online at 24/7 at kcrlive.com, or if you're in the San Diego County or on campus here at SDSU, you can tune in at AM 1610. You can also download the free TuneIn app for iOS and Android devices. All you got to do is search up KCR College Radio, and you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as well, KCR College Radio. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Tisha Mora, and this is my entertainment talk show, Tishtalk, where each week I choose a different topic having to do with entertainment, paired up with a bunch of my friends / guest hosts, and we kind of just have at it for about an hour or so. Here's some music and a good conversation every Friday night at 8 p.m., at least for the rest of the semester. It's been super long, considering I think here at SDSU we have a few more weeks left, and I know a bunch of other schools are beginning to wrap up. Graduation's around the corner for some people, so it's a hectic time as the semester comes to a close. I am stressed, and it has been a stressful week trying to find guest hosts, but it's been a lot of fun. It's this past semester has been great, ups and downs and stuff like that, so to kind of pair up the stress with something fun for tonight, I'm going to be talking all about Netflix, our favorite binging service, and I'm going to be joined by three familiar ladies that you may have heard on the show just very recently. And if you ladies want to say hi, my friends Chinabelle, Kate, and Sarah are all back on the air.
What's up?
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on with me again.
Of course.
And so, for those of you, I forgot to say. So if you want to follow us throughout the show, you can tweet at me at KCR Tishtalk, which is KCRTISH Talk. If you want, you can tweet me at there. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and I also now have a YouTube channel where almost all of my recordings are on there. I always say almost because I told the ladies here that I messed up because I thought for the longest time the recording of their original show that they did a few weeks ago was somehow deleted. And then I looked at the recording and I've been pulling the wrong date the entire time. So I was like, oh, it's the 24th instead of the 27th. So I'm like, oh, my bad.
It's okay, Tish.
I'm sorry. I'll have it up hopefully by the end of this weekend. This episode as well as the next one. Or the last one, sorry. But yeah, so I guess we'll do reintroductions, since for those of you guys who haven't heard them before or didn't listen to the last show that they were on, which you can listen to at the end of the week. So if you guys can reintroduce yourselves, tell us what you guys are up to, and basically how we all kind of know each other.
Hi, I'm Chinabelle. I'm just working and going to school. And I met Tish and Sarah and Kate in a Japanese class at Southwestern College. Woo, go Jaguars.
Hi guys, it's Kate here. You already know how I met Tish, China, and Sarah. So I am a fashion student and a lover of all things pop culture and entertainment, which is why I love to be here. And it's great to be back again.
What's up? I'm Sarah. I'm 21 years old. I like to draw cute girls a lot. And yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Well, I felt like it was really appropriate, and I actually looking at like my notes of topics as well as like possible guests and stuff like that, planning throughout this week, I knew that I wanted to reserve this topic for you guys just because it has been a topic that we've been talking about a lot lately.
Yeah.
Which is Netflix. And so to kind of kick it off, well, actually, does everybody here have a Netflix?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it your Netflix or are you mooching off of somebody else's Netflix?
Yes, my
Brother-in-law.
dad pays for it.
It's mine.
Okay.
Oh.
Because
Thank you,
I'm
Genesis.
mooching off of mine too. I'm mooching off of my friends too. So.
One time, my sister like lended our Netflix account to a friend, and the friend never logged out, and so apparently the mom of the friend was using our Netflix and liking and like rating stuff, and my sister found out and she got pissed.
Why? Was it like
because-
messing up her feed?
Yeah, it was messing up her
Oh.
likes and everything. So like she just
your
had to
personal
change the
list.
password.
Let me recommend this movie that
Yeah.
you wouldn't want to like.
I know. I always wonder about that because my family, my little brother shares with their friends on like their PS3, and then I share with one of my best friends. Luckily, we share the same stuff, so whenever I like something, she doesn't really care. But I always kind of worry about our family, the one that my family uses, and their
yeah.
family, because it's like random. And I noticed. I think we're gonna get our own though, because my dad got the trial period for Netflix,
Nice.
and he's like really into Netflix documentary. At least I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he recently watched Making a Murderer.
Oh man,
Oh.
that's
Because
really
I told him, because he likes documentary stuff. I'm like, hey, Dad, like, you should really look at Netflix because they have a lot of good documentaries. And I think I told him that one. So I remember I was in the hallway because we have our Mac set up in the hallway, and I was doing homework, and I could hear, all of a sudden, I hear like familiar names and then like the theme song, and I was like, I poke in, I'm like, hey, Dad, are you watching Making a Murderer? He's like, yeah. I was like, cool. What episode are you on? Like, and I didn't even blink. And then my brother's coming. He's like, when do we get Netflix? And he's like, it's not Netflix. It's recording. He's like, that's a Netflix show. What are you talking about?
It's so funny.
He's like, it's recorded. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I think he got the trial. I don't know, but my family might get it soon, which is really interesting because I think Netflix, kind of segueing it into the show, Netflix does a really good job in terms of like creating their own content. I think they do a fantastic job. It's not only beautiful, it's a wide range of just genres. So my first question, I guess, since I've already asked if everybody has Netflix, since we all do, thank God, what would you say has been your most favorite thing you've watched on Netflix so far? It doesn't have to be an original, just like overall,
Stranger
your
Things.
favorite.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things from Sarah.
Yes. Yes, I second that.
Stranger Things from Kate.
For sure.
indie movies and foreign musicals.
That's not fair. You have to pick one.
The one
Cheater.
I'm thinking about is Jack and the Clock Heart or something. It's French, but they dubbed it in English, and then the music's so good, and it's animated and it's pretty. It's so nice.
I think for me too, it still has to be Stranger Things though.
Still in that.
Oh
yeah. I'm gonna actually, if my parents are listening, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna actually get her tattoo,
Oh, no way.
11's tattoo, and just because
Nice.
it has sentiment, because my friend who I introduced her to that.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was over at her house and her siblings were like, oh, she hasn't watched it yet because her
Yeah.
Xbox isn't working. It won't connect to the Wi-Fi. And I remember I was there. I ended up fixing it for her. And as soon as I did, I'm like, we're watching it now.
yeah.
And then we ended up, I didn't stay because they were having a sleepover because I had to be somewhere the next day. I think I had work the next day.
Cute.
But I ended up staying until like 1 o'clock or something like that. And apparently when I heard the next day, one, she loved it. Two, she ended up staying up pretty late to watch like halfway through the show.
Uh-huh.
Her
I
name's
was like,
Ellen.
yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so,
It's
and that's
perfect.
another thing why. So my friend Ellen, who is the one, if you guys have been listening, had passed away unfortunately, but she really liked the series. Her and her boyfriend actually dressed up as Mike and 11 for Halloween that year, and her hair was already short, so she actually had a hospital gown. She was
cute.
she was the absolute. It looked perfect, and then her boyfriend has long hair,
Nice.
so he just dyed it.
Oh,
And it
nice.
looked
Yeah, yeah.
fantastic. It was perfect. It was spot on. And so I want to get in her memory, get Ellen's 11's tattoo, and then put a ribbon right next to it.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So-
Good
That's really
idea.
sweet.
Yeah, but that Stranger Things is a very sentiment to my heart kind of
I
thing.
haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you're crazy, girl. What world you live in?
Dude,
My
it's
boyfriend has to
so
sit me down to watch it because I can't.
you don't
I don't know.
You just not. Is it not interesting to you?
It's not that I'm. I just have to put aside time. I think.
Yeah. I get that.
I
I
stayed
mean-
up watching it. Like,
Dude, I know. I binged it all in one
I
day, too.
binged it.
Speaking of another show that I stayed up for, though, 13 Reasons Why, I stayed up for that.
You did?
You
Okay, so that's
did?
actually one of the reasons why I wanted to have you guys on specifically, because I know we have been talking about it, and I'm sorry to the people, because I know some people are getting really sick of it too. I, for one, have not watched it yet. I haven't
Same.
watched it. I haven't read it. I just haven't had the time.
same.
I want to, but I've been hearing, like, I obviously know how you feel about it.
Yep.
I've been hearing both positive and negative things about it, and I'm not really sure. I think I'm still going to watch it, and then I'm going to read it.
Okay.
See.
Yeah.
Just
Oh.
whenever I have the time,
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of thing.
I forgot because I lent the book to my cousin.
Okay, no,
Over
you're
the
good.
weekend.
I'm probably just gonna borrow it from work.
Yeah.
But so to kind of talk about that, I actually do want to talk about. So without spoiling as best as you can, or do you just want to spoil it?
Spoiler alert, just in case I like.
Okay.
Love.
Spoiler alert, just
she
in
dies.
case.
It's about
I'm going home.
suicide, basically.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
You spoiled it for me. How dare you?
So yeah. Should I just say the premise?
It's fine. Yeah, give
Yeah,
like a basic premise.
The premise is that a girl in a high school committed suicide, and she made tapes to those people that she felt like did her wrong. So they're her 13 reasons why she committed suicide. Not so much that there's tapes, people listen to it, stuff happens.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go too detailed.
I know it's hard. I know
That's good.
it's
Yeah.
hard to kind of like talk
Thanks.
about it without giving spoilers.
Yeah.
But
There's nothing really to spoil.
is it really?
Not really. It's
Question:
Yeah.
just
Are
Sorry.
there 13 episodes?
there's 13 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
Just 13 episodes,
Mhm.
13 reasons. Yep.
I will say though, from what I've heard from people who have watched it, I heard that they left it off where they might make a season 2.
Oh, yeah. If we could talk about that too.
Yeah, you can. You can.
Okay. So what I think it is, just because this show kind of did a really good job of addressing suicide and kind of how like the little things can escalate
Mhm.
and whatnot. And it pertains to a high school where all these kids don't know how to deal with stuff. Like they're so passive aggressive and can't confront their issues.
Mhm.
So what I feel like with the second season is just going to be another like after school special where they talk about maybe another issue that, you know, like the 90s used to address, like drugs, gun violence.
Oh,
and
so kind
stuff.
of like the review-ish of, or like the after effects of what happened.
Yeah, it's going to be
Okay.
that. Yeah. Without spoiling the end.
Yeah.
It's going to move on to a different topic about like something that usually happens in school.
Mm-hmm.
Which I kind of don't like just because I read the book first. I liked the book. The show did get the essence of the book, it's just in a different tone and they added a lot. But if they're just going to make it into like this, not propaganda so much, but of a thing where this is what happens in schools and just going to continue off it, I don't know. I might not watch the second season.
Oh.
But I recommend it. It's,
Okay.
what was it? Parental advision?
Yeah,
Yes.
that,
Advision?
Advision.
Yes.
That's what
Uh,
I've heard too, that there are some episodes while you watch it that actually say viewer discretion is advised.
Viewer
which is a
discretion.
first for Netflix,
Yeah, just because.
Yeah.
at least in terms of like this type of series. Maybe in documentaries they probably have it, but like this type of series, like from book to screen, from page to screen adaptation is probably a first for them.
Yeah,
I
because
think it's really interesting.
there is depiction of suicide and there is depiction of sexual assault. So
Yeah.
FYI,
Mhm.
FYI.
It's interesting that you say that though, because the arguments and I also feel like maybe I don't want to say like people being dramatic,
No, that's the right word.
but okay. Oh, so you know what I
Mm.
feel like there are some people out there. I mean, I understand the people who have gone through this. It's not something that a lot of people will be able to understand and relate to right
Mhm.
away.
yeah.
And bringing light to it is important.
Mhm.
But what I've heard a lot is that the way that the show kind of has twisted the image of like at least suicide
Mm.
and depression is it's kind of romanticizes it a bit.
Mm.
That's the argument that I've heard online. I can't say it's my opinion just because I haven't seen it, but I've seen a lot of people argue that the show kind of gives off that vibe essentially. But again, that's me saying with no context. That's something I've seen online, kind of, which is why I kind of bring it up to you. Like, I know you said that they did a good job of it, but do you think they kind of still romanticize the idea of that so that it lessens the blow, or is it just kind of movie magic where it just happens to look that way?
No, they did it in a way because in the book it's just very the main character Clay. He just listens to the tape straight. Nothing happens. You don't see any other perspective. What the show has done, they added the people that were part of the tapes. They added their perspective, like added what they had to go through. So there's a lot more about that. It's not really romanticized, but it's just the perspectives of other people besides what Clay's listening to, and the other side of the story, that the girl Hannah, the one that committed suicide, it's just shows the other side of her story. So you're not just getting what the tapes say, you're seeing how it all happened,
like the after effects. And I think it's also because like they need content.
They need
to work with.
13 reasons.
Yeah.
13 episodes.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. Depiction of the suicide. There's no censorship at all, so be careful.
Is it really?
boy.
I cried.
Oh,
I cried. It was
Oh my gosh.
it was too intense.
I know. I think because I know a lot of my friends are watching it too, and some of my friends have already watched it, and they're like, yeah, it's really like there are parts that like kind of gets to me, and just look with everything that's been happening lately, I'm not sure if I can handle that just yet. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch it now, or like maybe wait a little bit to watch it. But it's gotten to the point where like I have been spoiled a few times, and I kind of do know some of the premise already. I mean, I'll probably still watch it, but I think visually it's still something that I'm not ready to see yet, just because there's just too many other things happening right now.
It feels too real. It's not so much romanticized. Then other than that, it really does feel like this is what people go through, and this is what happens. There's nothing like there's no like circumstantial stuff or whatever. This is what happens. And it's so sad.
Is it really?
But
it's still is it still a recommendation? Or
sure. It's
Yeah.
on Netflix. It's just something to watch. But with advisory, it gets really graphic. Eep.
Any other thoughts on that? That was something I actually did want to talk about, just because it's like I wanted the opinions of people who've seen it, and then obviously like Sarah and I haven't seen it, so I was just like, well, because you watched it too, right, Kate? Yeah. So.
Oh, sorry, I like told.
Oh no, it's all
Don't
good.
go.
I agreed with like 80% of what you said.
Ooh.
I'm all like percentage.
What happened to the other percent?
Oh no, it's not. It's not a big deal. I do think that they romanticized it. I think it's just the way the film was produced, though, the cinematography and just the whole like, I guess indie like feel to it.
Oh, they made it pretty.
Yeah, it's it was
They
very
made it
pretty.
look pretty.
And so that kind of, I feel like, helps it look romanticized. And also the idea of it, like the way they introduce the situations that happen that could or have happened and could happen in high school or any type of school situation. I don't know. I just feel like these certain situations, like in the book, felt more serious.
Oh, yeah.
But in the
yeah.
show, it wasn't that serious to me. Like, I don't want to spoil it, but it's like, I don't know.
I know it's
I can't
hard.
give away my
I'm
thoughts
sorry.
without spoiling it. So I'm like,
yeah.
there are certain things in the show where I'm like, realistically, probably every kid has gone through that situation at least once, and it's not something that's going to really
disappear.
No, it's not going to hurt you is what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's not
Like,
going to
it's not
really,
that big
it's
of
not
a
going to
deal?
mentally mess you up. Yeah, like, or the way they showed it, the way
Yeah.
they played it out on screen, it was like, okay, that's really not that big of a deal. But in the book, when you listen to her talk about it, because it's just her
Yeah.
narrating it, you're like, wow, whoa, why? You know?
Do you think like what you're talking about, like that certain topic, do you think that they'll be able to elaborate on that in season 2, or is it just kind of so small of a thing that it's just like a detail they had to include?
I hope they elaborate in the second season.
I mean, is it possible for them to kind of come back to it and be like, yeah, this is something else?
Okay, so if anyone's seen Degrassi, it almost felt like it was like a like a dramatic like spin-off of, or like an inclusion of that, because in Degrassi a lot of drama happens that
That's what I've
goes on
heard.
between like teenagers in school and depression, suicide, anxiety, and this show had a lot to do with that. And so
Yeah.
I was like, is this another Degrassi or what? Like, it just was over dramatized for me, although I still binge watched it, of course, because
It's not.
I mean, yeah, like, what are you gonna do? And don't get me wrong, they had the whole idea of the book like right. It wasn't like they didn't spin off on like a whole different story. They had
It
the
wasn't too
general idea
altered.
correct. Yeah, the
Okay.
general idea was right. I think that they just portrayed it differently, and a
Yeah,
part
yeah,
of that obviously is just because, like we were saying earlier, they have to they need content and it needs to be entertaining.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like they didn't take anything away from the books.
Mm-hmm.
They just hella added a lot.
Right.
Because they had to.
Especially with the character Clay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that he's like the star of the show.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it
It
revolves
is
around him. Yeah.
Around him. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, the book Clay and the show Clay are two completely different characters.
Really?
Yeah.
Like in a good way or a bad way though?
Different. Just different.
Just different.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad that we kind of got that little review in just because I know that there like myself included have been on the fence. Should I watch it? Should I not watch it?
Read the book.
You should still
Yeah.
should still watch it just to understand what everyone's hyping about. You
Yeah,
know?
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna do. I just did not get the
Yeah.
chance. It's right now things are like so crazy.
Right.
The end of the year.
Yeah.
But I guess to kind of talk about Stranger Things because China hasn't seen it yet, and this is gonna be our moment. No, this is our moment to kind of convince you to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not that I'm not gonna watch it. I'm just
This is our moment.
Like,
to
how could
convince
you not watch it
This
and
is our
watch
moment
13
to
Reasons Why
convince you.
instead?
It's
I've
more like
been
a hype
watching
party.
like Running
Yeah.
Man and
For-
like other shows.
It's good though, China.
I know.
It's
Super
only
good.
what 8 episodes?
I heard it's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
8
yeah.
episodes. It's
Oh,
really long, but
That's
8
like
episodes.
a day.
Exactly. No, like legit, you can get it
Okay.
done in a day.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't season 2 coming out this
Season
October?
2
Oh my God,
is
yeah.
Halloween.
Coming out on Halloween.
Oh, okay.
I can't wait. It's
I have
perfect.
time. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I think, which is perfect. If you, for whatever reason, haven't watched it by Halloween, I swear to you, we're gonna like
We're
throw
gonna have to
some
have a
kind
night,
of.
yeah.
We're gonna have a night,
A
and we're
Stranger
gonna watch
Things
through
night.
everything.
That's fine. I don't mind.
Yep, everything.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
so good. That show is
Clear your schedules.
yeah, because it's funny too. Because when I first watched it, I was like, "Oh my god, like this is scary." Because my friends are watching, and they're like, "Watch it, watch it, watch it." And one of my friends was like, "Oh, it looks really scary," or like just like the beginning, like
Yeah.
you know, the very very first
Yeah.
beginning when they introduce everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my god, this," and I was like, "Oh no, horror, I'm out. It's not happening." They're like, "No,
Same.
just watch it." And the more I watched it, it's more than horror. I would say it's definitely more of like a thriller mystery, like a sci-fi thriller. It's a sci-fi thriller in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
And they do a fantastic job. What I think is really interesting, and I actually, last year when it first came out, I was in a writing and rhetoric studies class, which I think I've talked about a couple of times on the show because it's the major that I want to go into. I actually wrote I wrote an essay on the show. I got a perfect score on it.
Wow.
Thank you, Professor Shepard. And one of the things that I talked about, because it's just like breaking down like the analysis of why they chose different things on it.
Yeah. 80s.
Yeah, exactly. So the 80s was
Yes.
definitely one of them. Like, why is it such a thing that we like? But I think it's also because like the humans like to essentially reminisce and kind of look back.
It's the time before like our phones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and all that
exactly.
stuff.
So
Yeah.
it's despite the fact that it's in our history and it's stuff that people have obviously lived through the 80s and stuff like that, and we see things repeat like fashion statements, music, and you know whatever. I think it's really interesting that they incorporated it because it gives a lot of at least our generation and especially younger kind of like, oh, this is like the generation that our parents grew up in.
Yeah.
And this is like kind of what they used to wear. They used to dress up and stuff like that. And then if you add the weird alien mix, which I feel like kind of brings in for like the older crowd.
I love it.
Yeah, because like I think I would say that's like what around the time like Aliens was really kind of like a
Yeah.
thing.
Yes. Sigourney Weaver.
I want to, yeah.
Yes.
So I want to say like they did a really good job bringing in all these people because you have the nostalgia for the older crowd, and then you have like this new thing to kind of like watch a flashback of
Yeah.
for
It's
the
like
younger crowd.
it's watching an 80s movies that's not
That's not
in the
too,
80s.
Yeah,
It's not
Yeah.
from the 80s.
yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's funny too because it's like I'll watch 80s movies with like my mom, and I'm like, some of them are cute. Like I really like Breakfast Club, or I really liked Pretty in Pink,
okay.
you know, stuff like that. But then like other ones, I'm like, it's too corny for me, or I don't like, you know what I mean. But at least this one, it's so it's modern, but it's enough where it's like still 80s kind of set.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I think another thing I talked about, like I got into it like really because I was so passionate about the show. I think I watched it like 3 times already, like all the way through. I think one of the other things was the fact that at least in one of the reasons why I said it was a thriller, or it's still kind of subcategorized in like horror, is because they use kids as one of the basis of it.
Yeah.
And I was like saying like one of the reasons why horror films and thriller films, they use kids a lot, is because it makes us really uncomfortable seeing children put in that position.
Yeah.
Because if you think about ourselves in that position, maybe we can hold off, or maybe we'll be able to start. But if you think about kids going through that stuff, it's like they're defenseless. They don't know any better. They're smaller and younger.
And it's also the thing that the parents won't believe them. So they
Exactly.
They have to do
Yeah.
it. They have to deal with whatever they're dealing by themselves.
Yeah.
Which is why I think, I mean, this is a little bit off track, but it still kind of has to deal with like the whole, this subgenre is like whole like the re-edition of that.
yeah.
I think that's why it's still like, besides the fact that it was like an iconic movie back then, like them bringing it back now, a lot of people are still like, yes, I'm here. I am
Yeah.
like, it
I'm all
looks
the way with it,
interesting.
yeah.
I will say that the old one looks scarier though.
I don't
in
like
my
clowns,
opinion.
so
I don't
think
either.
I'm
It
not
was
gonna watch it.
it's totally different. I completely just it looks different to me.
It looks.
yeah.
He looks too scary.
He
of a
looks
clown.
demonic.
Oh
and,
really?
like-
I think he
Yeah.
looks funny.
Yeah. And
No.
the show just looks I mean the movie looks more like it just than like the newer version. Yeah, he looks like demonic. He looks
too scary.
yeah, like too scary, and it doesn't really like give the same. I feel like it's not going to give the same feel as the first movie, and I'm a little afraid of that. But Stephen King himself said it was going to be bomb.com, so I'm probably going to watch it
Stephen
still.
King himself.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to, and this is this is so off topic, but whatever, it's still good content. I think at least with people who use page to screen adaptations, like the authors are very particular with obviously how their content is created. So I think that Stephen King's really involved in that, and he's
Yeah.
always been involved with that because his movies have always been
course.
adapted into if
Yeah.
you look at The Shining, that was a great hit.
Stand by Me was
Yeah.
good.
Thinner.
Yeah.
They're all good. Yeah.
So and then he's actually putting out. I think it's Spike who's doing it. They're doing one of my favorites, The Mist. They're turning it into
They're doing it
TV
again.
series.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yes, because I didn't watch the movie because everyone's like, it was really bad, and I was like,
Yeah,
I
it
like this
was.
book, I don't want to watch it, kind of thing. So when I saw him put out the trailer for it, I think it's appropriate to put, at least for his books, I think it is appropriate to do a short series because the first time I watched it, I think I watched like Roses something. I forgot what it was exactly. But my best friend and I, back in like high school, sat through it. It was like 6 hours long.
Oh yeah. Oh, and like bringing it back to Netflix, it's like Netflix OG shows. They give companies a chance to like go in depth into shows that wouldn't really be a hit at the movie.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
know what? It's fun.
Totally.
Okay, we're bringing it back. But thank you, China. I think it's the one company who's done a fantastic job capitalizing on that, maybe without recently, is Marvel.
Yeah.
And so if you look at the example of Daredevil, the first movie wasn't that great with Ben Affleck.
Haha.
But
I hate
but if you look at the series, it is fantastic. Like, if
It's
anyone hasn't
so
seen the
good.
Netflix series for the Marvel shows, which is created by Netflix, Daredevil, in this order, watch it in this order. Daredevil season 1, I'd say Jessica Jones,
Yes.
and then Daredevil season 2, Luke Cage, and then Iron Fist.
Or don't watch Iron Fist.
That's the thing. I've actually heard. Well, okay.
But I liked it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I haven't seen it yet, but I understand. I've
I mean, I
seen
didn't love it.
criticisms.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I liked it still. The
Oh, okay.
action was fun. I'll say that.
Oh yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
But
that's what I've
Just
heard.
action.
Mhm.
Because I heard the story was just like a big setup for Defenders.
Pretty much. But
Yeah,
the
he's like
action's
the
cool.
last tier. So obviously, yeah, they're gonna put. To add to that, Defenders is gonna be next, and then they're working on Punisher series right now, which I'm so pumped for.
They're working on the Punisher series, but did you know they're adding another one? They're
What?
adding Cloak and Dagger.
Oh yeah. They're working on it now. I actually
Cloak-
saw some stuff, and I was like, ooh, it looks
Oh
good.
yeah, I didn't look at the promo, but Cloak and Dagger, because I read a Marvel comic called The Runaways with a bunch of like kids.
I thought they're doing Runaways too, though.
they're doing that on Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like one of the bigger characters was Cloak and Dagger, and that's how I got
But Netflix is doing
introduced
that.
to them.
Is
Net-
Netflix doing it, or is it
Net-
through Hulu too?
Netflix is doing Cloak and Dagger, and then The
that's
Runaways is being done by Hulu.
That's interesting. And
I
again,
want-
China's like the queen of segues tonight. You're segueing my show for me. Thank you. That's actually something I wanted to talk about too. Is that, well, actually, we'll talk about that in a little bit. To kind of wrap up the whole Marvel, I say like Marvel is doing a fantastic job. Yes, Sarah.
Oh, is it alright I could talk about Netflix choices of animes?
Yeah,
And-
yeah. We're gonna get into that too.
Cool.
We might go on a little break in a bit.
Okay.
But actually, do you guys want a break, or are we good right now?
No, let's
good.
just keep going.
Okay, we'll keep
Yeah.
going then. No break this time. Okay,
Yay.
so I actually wanted to, to wrap up on Marvel, I think they're one of the few companies that's really taken advantage of Netflix's, like, Because when you look at Netflix, and I'm gonna tie it into what I learned in school, in my college. So I'm taking like a history of primetime TV.
Oh, nice.
And
fun.
it's
Jealous.
a lot of fun actually. Like I really enjoy it. Our last project is actually really cool. One of the things we learned recently is that HBO was what Netflix is to the streaming services. So HBO back then gave people obviously pay for HBO, right?
Yeah.
Back then when local TV was just local TV, HBO was what people paid for to get the stuff that they can't have on regular TV. So The Sopranos, I think, was the first example of that. You have an anti-hero, you have drugs, sex, money, murder, stuff that you won't typically see on local TV because they can't have that. And so Netflix is essentially that equivalent now because people will pay for Netflix. Netflix doesn't have to worry about TV, like the TV mass media overlords kind of looking over them, be like, you can't show this on air. You have to censor yourself. And so I think Marvel has done a really good job of doing that because they've been able to tell the stories, at least in the Defenders aspect. They did a really good job doing that because you see the violence. Like Daredevil season 1
so good.
Was so good and such a good example of the fact that like you have this comic book character. Like, yeah, people look at it as a comic book character, as a cartoon character, whatever. Because if you think of Marvel, some people think like, oh, Avengers.
Campy movies.
Kind of. Like, as much as I love them, they're not super dark. I mean, they're trying to get to that, but they're typically known to be like the hero will always save the day, and there's not that much like darkness or whatever.
Oh yeah, and like another thing like about the Defenders, they all have their own issues. Like Jessica Jones goes through alcoholism.
Yeah,
like she deals with a lot of like personal issues and stuff, and like I
would say like low key
comic...
PTSD in this.
Yeah. And like in the comic books, she goes through a lot more.
Yeah, and so I think
I'm like,
at least with Defenders, the way Marvel has decided to treat it with Netflix, they've done a really good job choosing Netflix as the service because Netflix knows they have a wide range. They can do whatever they want because it's their service. They don't have anybody looking over their shoulder.
Yeah.
And Marvel has done a really good job doing that because now everybody who watches, with the caveat being for Iron Fist, just because that has been their show that has had the most negative reviews. It has, honestly, but I think I've still heard good things. People still like it. I think that they've done a really good job choosing that, and I think more companies should really pick up on that. I think they kind of slowly are, which is like I think what I don't know. Marvel has done a really good job because they did that with Netflix. They're doing it with Hulu. They did it with FX with
Legion?
Legion, yeah, which I still haven't seen because I know Kate was telling me to watch it last time. I just haven't had a chance to watch it. So I think it's a really good job.
Oh yeah, and sorry, like one more thing about like Marvel. The only downside to having a Netflix show, they're not connected to the cinematic universe.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. I thought they are.
They're just because of like copyrights and contracts. They're not having Defenders in Infinity Wars.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, like, they still... I think they do connect, or they might make cameo. Maybe.
They'll have a mention, but they can't contractually
really
show up.
That's interesting.
That's what I've heard.
Well, it's funny because, like, I remember at least early on, there was, like, this... It was supposed to be a movie poster of all the people who were supposed to show up on them, and they had all the Netflix guys on there. And I remember it was supposed to be legit because the actual actors themselves were like, yeah, this is thing. But then dates started moving around and stuff like that. So I don't know. It sucks because I would love to see them on air. That'd be really cool. Even like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters, like that'd be cool. Because that's really tied into the Marvel universe, the cinematic universe. That definitely is.
Like Samuel Jackson showed up in the show. Yeah. And Coulson will be switching to and fro.
And they've always acknowledged, which is interesting because even in the Marvel series, they also, in the Netflix ones, they still acknowledged everything that was happening in the universe. They just never see them. Yeah. Okay, we're getting off topic again. I'm sorry.
Marvel's a big thing to me.
No, it is too. It's for me too. But I think Marvel is one of the few companies that's really taken advantage of Netflix.
Yes.
In a good way. Yeah. But they've also been doing that with other streaming services, which I guess will segue into my next question. So when it comes to the other streaming services, you have Netflix, you have Hulu, you have PlayStation View, and you now have a newest competitor, which is YouTube TV, which is, I think you pay $30 a month. You can have up to 6 accounts.
30?
And I think is it 30? I think it's 30.
30?
Or is it 60?
Ouch.
It's
That-
really
that's-
cheap though.
Really?
Because you can have up to 6 accounts simultaneously on there, so you could split it.
Bill, that sounds expensive.
Yeah, but they have like a lot more features. Like you can use YouTube. You'll have YouTube Red. It'll promote content creators. I believe you can still have all the other shows that the other services provide, as well as local shows.
Wait, can you get YouTube Red with YouTube TV?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Because you know who just recently revealed that they had a show?
Who?
Big Bang. K-pop, Korean.
Oh,
Oh,
I
so
thought you
you're
were talking
like,
about Big
I
Bang
mean-
Theory.
No,
I know. That's what I was
wait,
about to
wait,
say.
what?
Like
Taeyang,
Sheldon.
Daesung, Seungri, Top, and GD.
That's right. I forgot that year. That's you. That's you.
Anyways,
But my question to you is if you guys know at least a lot of it, or if you don't, read the article I wrote on kcr.sdsu.edu promotion for our blog because it's really good. I wait for them. Yay. I would say, like, do you think the competitors they have out right now will ever kind of reach the level that is Netflix? Because you kind of see Hulu doing it with Marvel, at least. They kind of understand. And Marvel understands that they want to be up there with Netflix. So they're kind of like, oh, you can take some of our franchises and try it out kind of thing. Just to like, But do you think those other streaming services will ever kind of get to that level?
I feel like Netflix is at first place. Hulu would be at second. Crunchyroll somewhere like maybe like fifth or 10th.
Mhm.
But I mean they could try, but Netflix has always been popularized. I guess.
It's hard to
No one's
say.
like, oh, I'm gonna watch Hulu all night.
Yeah, it's so true.
I heard on the news that Hulu actually has the most subscribers right now because
wow.
Netflix is still fairly new. So it's actually still in Hulu right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you know what? I've kind of statistically I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really interesting.
Although I never hear anyone tells me they're gonna watch Hulu all night.
Yeah. It's always, no, I'm going to Netflix.
That's so weird. Interesting.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll it up.
I know Sarah wants to talk about this too, but
Anime on
obviously,
Netflix.
yeah, anime on Netflix because Crunchyroll obviously is like for a lot of people who pay for the services. Crunchyroll is like the place to go for streaming anime because they have it the best. I think if you pay for the premium, you get them on the actual day they premiere, including in Japan.
yeah,
you don't
yeah.
have to wait
Yeah.
for 3 or 4 days. I think.
Right.
Whereas you have, and I would say Crunchyroll arguably has like the best anime sources on there. Because if you look at like I don't know about Hulu. I actually think Hulu has some of them, but I know Netflix has their own subcategory.
Hulu had Sailor Moon Crystal.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
I wasn't a
but
big
that was
fan
on Crunchyroll too. You didn't like it? I stopped watching it, but
I
thought it
started
was
on
cute.
Hulu and animation's weird. And
Yeah.
they changed it
Yeah.
because they heard people like
But I thought-
bashing it.
I heard that like the idea of redoing that only for the animation, but also to actually follow.
The manga
Yeah,
wasn't it supposed to follow the manga?
yeah. Did they change it?
I don't know. I just watched the first episode.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
they were doing a pretty good job. I watched
Okay.
maybe like about 10 or 12 episodes and then I stopped because I just didn't have time.
I'm
But,
just gonna keep with my
In terms
original.
of like Netflix, I've only seen a few. The last one I've been watching, and I'm sorry, Fernando, you're the one telling me to watch it. Is Your Lie in April. I still haven't finished it yet. It's good so
Oh,
far.
I
I just
heard
haven't
it's
finished it.
good.
Tears.
I know.
Be prepared for tears.
I know. He keeps telling me. I just haven't watched it. But what do you guys think about like the selection on there? Like, is it enough where people are like, yeah, definitely watch it, or like, because I know my brother sometimes watches it. I know that my friends have watched it. But for the most part, for me, whenever I want to go look for anime, I typically go on Crunchyroll because they have
yeah.
the better quality ones.
Yeah.
So.
Sarah, go ahead.
There's like this one really, really girly anime where it's like called like Pretty Kata or something like that. And Netflix changed the whole name to Glitter Force, and it just looks like
Oh,
for
wow.
kids style. It's like,
Uh-huh.
oh man, gotta go get my jelly donuts, which is just rice balls. or
Oh,
whatever.
you mean English
Which
dub?
is rice
yeah,
balls.
like yeah,
Oh my
English
God.
dub.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
And
Mhm.
yeah,
Well, if it's for kids, I understand for it to be English dubbed, but I know a lot of the other animes that aren't on the kids section, they'll have the English dub and they'll just have the English sub.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's
like they give you the option.
Because I remember a while ago, I was watching Host Club, and
Yes,
it
that's
was
what I was
the
thinking of.
dub version, and I was trying to look for
No.
the subbed, and I'm like, oh, no,
Yeah.
I can't watch it.
No.
I think I watched Host Club in dubbed only when I first watched it.
You watched it in dub?
But you have to read it too because it makes me sad that they didn't follow it all the way through.
Oh, I didn't read the manga.
Go read it. It's better.
A
It's
really
better.
good
Oh, yeah.
Netflix show right now on the anime section is One Punch Man.
Oh,
I know.
One
I need
Punch
to
is
watch
on
that
Netflix?
too.
Yeah, it's on. Netflix
It's
now.
on Netflix.
What was it? There was that one. I think their selection is very like, I don't want to say mainstream, like on
But
Netflix,
it's
mainstream,
but like
yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
like basically all the big names.
Yeah.
A lot
You
of
know,
shonen
like or
jumps on
anything
there.
that like hyped out in the anime world is probably gonna
Yeah.
be on there,
Attack on Titan's on there.
yeah.
And I think that's where I
Yes.
watched it too.
which is great. But then at that point, it's like we've already seen it like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
when it's on,
yeah.
so we're like, oh, where are like the new? So obviously we're not gonna go on Netflix.
Yeah.
But there was that one that I really liked. It's called Ajin. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it was really good, and it's on Netflix, and I was pretty happy about it when it came out. But
What's it
on
about?
there,
What's it about?
it's this guy who has how do I describe it? It's this guy who has like this matter, or this they call it like matter, dark matter inside him, and it comes out and it has its own like it has its own mind and energy, and he can basically he can never die. He's immortal.
Oh.
And yeah, they're
Is
called
it like a darker series?
they're called like demigods or demi-humans.
Oh, I saw
yeah.
like a short clip of it.
Right, yeah, it's pretty good. And so they everyone basically kind of wants to capture him and use him for their own use because he's this guy with this amazing power, and he's like, stop, leave me alone, I just want to be normal. So it's like, yeah, there's a lot more to it, but but the action's pretty cool, and it was awesome.
Is that
Yeah.
like okay is that your favorite anime series on there right now that you would definitely recommend, or
right now on Netflix?
Yeah. yes or no? Maybe so?
I would say it's my favorite right now because it's not necessarily new, and I've moved on to a whole bunch of like
Yeah.
others, like more recent ones that have appeared on Netflix. And
But if you had
I
to
actually-
recommend one from
Oh, yeah.
Netflix, at
I
least from
mean-
Netflix, because not everybody has the other streaming services.
yeah, well, I mean, most of the main good ones that everyone had already talked about, like Attack on Titan, Sword Art Online,
Punch
you know, One Punch Man.
Your
yeah,
Lie.
then I would be like, yeah, definitely Ajin. Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, watch them all on Netflix because we've probably already seen all of them.
Yeah.
So if you want to start somewhere, just pick one.
Yeah, so starting
Yeah.
on Netflix actually isn't a bad point for people
It
who
isn't,
want to
yeah.
watch anime, because I know there are some listeners out there like,
Yeah.
I don't watch anime, I don't really
Yes.
like it.
And the thing with Netflix, they'll have the good ones.
Exactly.
Yeah, because Netflix is going to invest in money, which is, I think, interesting.
Yeah, I have. Well, okay. So my best friend, she's not really big on anime, but she likes to say she is. And so I just
Calling
kind
you
of
out.
I feed her fire. Yes, I am totally. I say it to her all the time. It's all
Yeah.
good. And she met this guy who's like super into anime, and of course, naturally, like
She's going to be like,
you
yeah,
know, when you're dating someone, you tend to pick up like habits or things that they like because. You know, you want to see what they enjoy too, and sometimes you pick up those things. You're like, oh, I enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
So now recently she started getting into anime, and she'll like, it's funny because I have told her about Sword Art Online when it came out like a good minute ago, and then just now she's like, have you heard of Sword Art? Or have you heard of Sao? And I was like,
It's like, yeah,
was like,
girl, I've been
Sword Art
telling you
Online,
about
I was
it.
like, I don't know how many times I told you, girl. Like, and all of a sudden, some boy comes up and tells you, watch Sword Art Online. You're
Yeah.
all
Drama.
starry-eyed toward
Yeah.
it. I'm like, get out of my face.
Did you watch it in theaters?
No, but I
What?
wanted to.
You can watch it in
I
theaters?
Snapchat
That was
it.
a thing?
It was on theaters a while ago.
I was like, someone come with me, but no one Snapchatted, so I didn't go.
Yo.
My brother watched it.
I didn't know
Should
that
ask
at
my
all. I
brother.
would have been down to watch it on the theaters.
Next time.
Next time,
Next
if they
time.
ever do that again.
Like
Oh,
the
no, they do.
series or a movie?
Huh? Well, there is going to be a movie.
Yeah,
there's
there
gonna be
is.
a
Yeah,
movie?
there is.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
so what did they show in theaters? Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
Maybe like a
What-
episode
what
or
did-
two.
yeah, what
I
they
don't
show in
know.
theaters?
I don't know what they should. I didn't watch it in
Oh,
theaters.
oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
Hey,
I
yeah.
didn't-
You know what's in theaters right now, real quick?
What?
Your Name.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
Oh
I didn't
Do you
watch
think
it in
that-
theaters though.
Do you think Netflix would? Because
They have
Netflix,
to.
Netflix only what? Do they only have series on there right now, or do they have standalone movies on there? Because I know they don't have.
standalone movies.
Do they
Animes?
have?
Don't they
Oh,
have?
animes?
Do they have Studio Ghibli on there?
Yes. No.
Oh no.
Wait, I don't know.
They
Look-
really should
I'm gonna
though.
look it up.
That's the thing.
What are
Like
they doing?
I know you think that like well maybe it's also no actually no they have Disney stuff on there too. So you think
Yeah.
that like Netflix would kind of
'Cause,
try
yeah.
and get that
Uh,
licensing for it?
Ghibli stuff is distributed through Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of easy
I
for
thought
them.
I saw.
But do you think they'll do that?
I hope so.
Oh, I don't know. But do you think they'll that if it's popular enough? Because I know that's one of the more popular anime movies out there. Do you think that if a standalone movie like that would be able to be picked up by Netflix?
Yeah.
if they can.
It should.
It
It
legally.
should.
I thought I saw a girl leap through time. The same people that did Your Name
I think so.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one too, by the way.
I need to watch like all that that because that's one person that did that movie.
Mhm.
The animation's so
Very
pretty.
good. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Because they sometimes do have collections, on Netflix. Because like remember when Robin Williams passed away?
Mhm.
They had all his movies on Netflix for like a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I like that they do that.
That's actually
That was
again China's.
it makes
like,
them seem very personable as a
the queen
company.
of segues. Yeah, which like I think like Netflix does a really good job at that too. Because you mentioned Robin Williams, who's also not only known for as like a fantastic actor, but he also did stand up a lot. What I really love about Netflix is that they give like obviously stand up time, like their specials and stuff like that for comedians, and they highlight it. Like Louis C.K. came back, and Dave Chappelle came back.
Bo Burnham.
Bo Burnham, my fave.
Love Bo Burnham.
Like he has a lot of them too.
Ali Wong.
Yeah, they do, which I think is really interesting because for the longest time, I think the only service I was really doing that was Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Like that was their thing.
And late at night.
Yeah, so a lot of comedians wouldn't really get their start. Even I think Joe Coy put one out recently too.
Yeah,
Joe
he
Coy.
did.
Yeah, so I think
Live from Seattle.
yes, I think Netflix has been they're covering all their bases,
Yeah.
which is why I think they're like still number one.
Yeah.
They're smart about what they have on.
Yeah,
They
they do.
are.
But they have so much too. Like recently, my older cousin, shout out to Queer Rom, he got me into watching Chef's Table. Oh my gosh, I am a sucker for cooking shows in general.
My brother loves that show.
Netflix, the thing I will always commend them on is their cinematography. Hands down, is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like on just for online streaming services. HBO might be like a close second because I was watching The Jinx for a good minute, and that was actually a really good series too. But like the first example for me for that was definitely like Making a Murderer. Was cinematography was fantastic. It was cut so well, it was beautiful. But then like watching Chef's Table really highlights all of that. Like it's really good. I like how pretty it looks. Also food. So
Oh, the cinematography I liked was in Terrace House.
And which one?
Terrace House?
Mm-mm.
Terrace House.
I don't know.
Terrace House.
Terrace House.
I don't know what that is.
Oh,
don't give me that.
We were just talking about that. The Japanese Real World.
Oh, that's the thing you guys have been watching that I
my
definitely
gosh,
don't know.
girl,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't.
Okay, Tish, I'm with you.
Thanks. I'm not alone.
But then, okay, so because they have a lot of establishing shots, because
Yeah.
they're always talking
Like a
about
lot of
like it's
B-roll
either
and stuff.
in the city or like Aloha State. They're in like Hawaii right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
establishing.
this is the thing you've been Snapchatting us about, huh?
See.
Okay, yeah.
Just because it's so good. I haven't finished it yet. I still need to.
What about you, Sarah? Kate? Like, if you had to say, if you had a Netflix, if you can like name a Netflix series that has like hands down the best cinematography, has proven like how advanced they are in cinematography, can you like
Ooh.
name one? Or it doesn't have to be cinematography.
I recently just watched a documentary. I forgot what it was called, but it's about what's his name, Daryl Davis, who's really well known for being friends with KKK members, and Daryl Davis is a black guy.
Oh.
So he would go, just go become friends with them, and big KKK members just like derobe themselves and like quit, and it's pretty cool how he just does
Really?
that.
Oh,
slowly.
That's so
Yeah.
I know this guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a thing on Netflix.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh,
Oh,
wait, you said I
It's
know
really
this guy. I was
good.
like, oh, you know him?
I know. I was like, wait a minute. I know
It's
of his work.
pretty recent too. Also, what happened? Like he also went to go like talk to like Black Lives Matter activists, and it shows like how big of a contrast how like they interact with him with how like white supremacist racist people interact with him too. Like how Daryl, like, when he wants to like interact with someone,
Mhm.
he respects the person, gives them time to speak and everything.
As
But-
you should.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
and it's I don't know, it's pretty crazy. It's like how much of a difference it is. Like,
It's a Netflix original.
I believe so. I don't know.
We can Google it.
Maybe.
We'll look at it later.
Yeah.
I need to go through. I'm pretty sure when I edit this show and I also edit your guys' previous show, I know we have a bunch of recommendations on there, so I'll probably like in the sublink for the YouTube video when it goes up, I'll probably put a bunch of stuff on there so you guys can all see. Yeah. So we're coming up to a close pretty soon, but
My boyfriend just told me it's not an original Netflix.
Oh,
Oh
it's
my
not?
gosh. That's funny.
thanks, Tom.
Oh, I was gonna say that just reminded me because like one of my guilty pleasures recently
thinks.
with my dad and my sister. I don't know. I don't think it's a Netflix original. I don't know, but the British cooking baking show or whatever.
No, it's not a Netflix
I've been
original.
like-
That's a BBC
Yeah.
show. I totally. They
I've
they
been
took it off
obsessed
on
with that
Netflix
show.
though.
What?
Did they not?
No, I'm like I
They're
just
bringing it
watched
to
yesterday.
America.
Oh, okay, but I can't. If they need the original host, that's what makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
this is what I heard.
Yes.
I heard that Mary Berry
Yes, Mary Berry.
was coming to the American one,
Mm.
but I wasn't sure if they were gonna like keep it the same or whatever.
Mhm.
But I heard Mary Berry was gonna be part of it.
Oh, it's very cool.
Oh wow.
If you guys haven't seen,
keep
I actually
also-
had to finish season 1 still because they took it off for a good minute and then maybe they put it back after they finished season 2. But great British baking cook.
Yeah.
Bake Off.
Bake Off.
Off,
Sorry,
yeah.
that show. No, it's not a Netflix original. It's by BBC,
Mm.
but it's so good.
Yeah,
It's
it's
super
awesome.
popular.
It's super
It is
cute
good.
too.
My
It's like,
dad like watches it at night by himself. I'm like, Dad, do you tell your friends at work this is your guilty pleasure?
yes.
He's like, yeah, I kind of want to take a baking class at Southwestern College now. I was like, he was like, you want to take one with me? I was like, no.
I would be like, heck yeah, let's do it.
Oh, no way.
Let's do
My
it.
dad's way too meticulous of a person.
Oh.
Annoying.
Oh, Bake
Yeah.
Never
Off's
mind.
perfect then.
It's so
It would
cute.
be.
That's a high recommend
Yeah.
for me too. I need to finish it. If it's back on Netflix, I'm gonna finish it because they took my
Yeah.
Chopped off, and I used to
Oh,
watch
they
Chopped
did
all the
that?
time
Oh,
on there. They took it
yeah.
off at the beginning of the year. I don't know why, but I'm real sad. At
Oh.
Netflix, give me back my Chopped.
Yeah.
Because they'll listen to this.
Yeah, for
They're big fans.
everybody tweet at Netflix right now, tell them to bring back Chopped.
I know, right?
That was like my go-to. Oh yeah, that was actually something I did want to ask as we kind of wrap up the show. If you had to say one show you can always go back to, it doesn't have to be Netflix original, it can be whatever that's on there. What is your go-to just to kind of watch, to kind of like your go-to
Oh.
show?
Friends.
Okay.
Always, yeah.
Okay. Friends. We're the friends from Kate.
It's not a Netflix show, but it's a YouTube like series.
Mhm.
JK News.
Which one?
JK News.
JK News.
They used to be called JK Films,
Mhm.
but they kind of stopped doing sketch, so they started like focusing on their news channel.
Okay.
So they're
Wait.
on YouTube.
Are they on YouTube or Netflix?
YouTube.
Okay, so this is. What about for Netflix, girl?
Oh,
I know who
Netflix.
you're talking about for JK News.
Okay.
I just realized that.
Netflix. Bo Burnham, Ali Wong, or Joe Coy
Mm.
stand-ups.
Sarah?
One that's not on Netflix is Panty and Stocking with Gartabelle. Like a
We're season
Of
2
course
though.
you did.
I-
Of
it's
course
gone.
you do.
It's
We're
gone.
season 2.
No.
So apparently with season 2, someone just like made like a short, really short comic of it, and it's like
No.
I don't know, just
on
hard.
Netflix.
No, it's not on Netflix. I wish it was, but not. Oh, but on Netflix, I'm rewatching Archer right now.
Okay.
I really like Archer because I really like the style.
I can
of it.
see the
animation
comedy.
wise, it's a little
Yeah.
a little not much, but
Mhm.
still pretty good.
Kate, since they gave a non-Netflix one, do you want to give a non-Netflix one as we wrap up? Or no?
Doctor Who.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, and you got to talk about next time. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
because
I
we're gonna run
still
out
need
of
to finish
time.
it.
Yeah.
Capaldi.
I want to talk about casting too.
And
Especially
dogs.
with Netflix like
And
doing their
dogs all
own
the time.
shows. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like, should you cast someone just because to break barriers, or do we cast someone to stick to like something that's entertaining and like as true to its form as it should be? You know?
Yeah.
Ooh, cliffhanger.
Well, yeah, that's a cliffhanger just because we're not going to be able to cover it in like the 4 minutes we have left. I will say like the rest of the semester. Actually, before I do that, my answer to that non-Netflix go-to is this channel called SourceFed that ended a little while ago.
R.I.P.
That's me crying. Rip. SourceFed forever. I still watch their stuff because they have so much content on there for like 5 years worth of content on there. And it's all good. I mean, they were a news source channel, but they always did skits. They had breakaway stuff from that too. That was always that is my go-to, just to watch whatever and to make me laugh. On Netflix, before they removed Chopped, it was Chopped. Now, I guess Chef's Table kind of replaced that for me because they have a lot. I'm still catching up.
They added a season.
I just started it though, so it's like
okay.
really long for me to kind of be like, it's still my thing right now.
Okay.
So to kind of wrap up and to kind of leave it off as a cliffhanger, because you will hear these ladies again on this show, I guarantee you that.
Yeah. Yes.
The semester's coming to a close for me, so my plan, at least for this franchise, I guess for my franchise, this show, I want to try and continue it on even after the semester. So if you guys
Do a podcast.
Yes, do a
'cause
podcast.
Video podcast.
I support you.
yeah, you do it. That's kind of what the reason why like the show is structured like that. I kind of want to follow that. So if you follow me at KCR Tishtalk on all platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now YouTube, you will see more content from me coming up soon. And so I definitely want to kind of have you ladies on there. We will probably talk about casting. We'll probably talk about Marvel, DC, whatever. So you will hear these ladies come back on there once more. Until then, though, this has been KCR's Tishtalk. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me again.
You're welcome.
You guys, you saved my butt. I swear, dude. Thank you. That wasn't the end of the show. I still have like a minute left, dude.
You keep on burping.
No, stop. I'm gonna turn your mic off, Sarah. I swear.
No, don't.
No, Sarah. So before she keeps burping, this has been KCR College Radio. You've been listening to the award-winning Sound of State. Remember, we are always online and worldwide 24/7. You just visit us at kcrlive.com. You can also follow the station at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at KCR College Radio, as well as downloading the TuneIn app for iOS and Android devices. Just search for KCR College Radio. And the next time, if you guys want to call in, I didn't give the number this time, but the next time you want to call in, studio phone is 619-594-6982. So that has been... Dang it, Sarah. That has been it for me. I've been your host, Tish Amora, and this has been my show, Tish Talk. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me again today. You will hear more from them in the future. Again, follow me on all platforms at KCR Tish Talk.
Yay.
Sorry.
I can't wait to see you guys then.
One more.
No. I hope you guys have had a good night, have a good, safe weekend, and you will hear back from me next week. So tune in Friday night at 8. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys then.
Bye.
No.